Yes, my people, welcome back to another video, and welcome back today to the Glory Hunter Challenge. And today is a massive day as we take on Real Madrid in the Champions League final. For the first time in the Glory Hunter save, we are in the Champions League final, and this is gonna be a big one. We could tick off 2 trophies in the same season for the first time ever. The last time we were in this position was, of course, season 1 with Aston Villa, and we came up defeated as we were beaten by Lille in the Europa League final. And I have to say, by the way, just quickly, I have been in 3 different European finals in 3 different seasons in this Glory Hunter Challenge. Season 1, Europa League final. Season 2, Conference League final. Season 3, Champions League final. We have absolutely smashed this Glory Hunter Challenge so far. And today, hopefully, and let's just get into it. So, our lineup today is as follows. We're going with Garcia in goal, a back 4 of Reece James, Fofana, Schlotterbeck and Cucurella, a midfield 2 of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Cole Palmer starts on the right as he is back from injury. Nico Paz starts in the 10, of course. He scored 4 goals against Real Madrid earlier in the season. Giovanni Quenda out on the left with Vinicius Jr. leading the line for Real Madrid. No, he's not. He's a Chelsea man now. He leads the line for Chelsea here today. So, let's get in. Okay then, here we go for the Champions League final. And Real Madrid line up as follows. They've gone with Courtois in goal, ex-Chelsea man, of course. Trent Alexander-Arnold starts right back with Van Dijk, Mickey van der Ven and Alvaro Carreras as the back 4. A midfield 2 of Tchouaméni and Valverde, with Rodrigo on the right, Jude Bellingham on the left, Arda Güler starting in the middle as the 10, and Endrick leads the line for Real Madrid here today. This is going to be a massive, massive game. As here is confirmation of the Real Madrid Club de Football lineup and the Chelsea Football Club lineup as well. As the Champions League music begins for the final time of the season, as we are here in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. There is the match ball. As Reece James, off the back of winning the Premier League in the last episode, takes us out. Trent Alexander-Arnold leading Real Madrid out. Him and Van Dijk obviously losing multiple Champions League finals against Real Madrid. They are now on the side of Real Madrid. As Endrick gets us underway for this Champions League final, we're going to put dynamic mode on, so we get a full big Champions League final. As Alexander-Arnold goes back to Van der Ven. Carreras now finding Trent Alexander-Arnold. Arda Güler plays it through to Endrick, who goes back to Jude Bellingham. And Real Madrid have the opening goal 50 seconds in here to this Champions League final. Arda Güler with a really good pass through to Endrick. And all 3 Chelsea defenders going over to Endrick. And Jude Bellingham with a lovely finish into the bottom corner. Of course, won a Champions League with Real Madrid already. As now Endrick, the assist maker for the first. He's decent. I'm surprised he's playing up top. He hasn't really played a lot this year. Van Dijk then finding Rodrigo. Marc Cucurella doing well to intercept there. Schlotterbeck finding Cucurella, who then finds Quenda. Nico Paz now finding Vinicius Jr., who can strike it, and Vinicius Jr. against his former side equalises immediately for Chelsea. The opening 5 minutes here A goal each already. This looks like it's going to be a fantastic Champions League final. And the two ex-Real Madrid men, Nico Paz and Vinicius Junior, linking up to get the equaliser for Chelsea. It's a lovely finish from Vinicius Junior. A touch of respect, top 10 moments of respect, to not celebrate against his former side. One shot apiece and one goal apiece from either side in this opening 8 minutes. As Reece James now finding Caicedo. Dispossessed by Van de Ven brilliantly. And Rodrigo then looking for the run of Bellingham. Bellingham finding Arda Güler, and Caicedo does a good bit of defensive duties there. It is cleared, but only as far as Van Dijk, who finds Trent with a lovely ball through to his boyfriend. It is a Chelsea free kick now. Fernandes goes short to Palmer, and that looks like it might go out, and Endrick makes sure that it does. A Chelsea throw then, deep in Madrid territory here. Enzo Fernandez goes back to Reece James. Back to Caicedo. Into Enzo Fernandez, who finds Giovanni Quenda. Back to Caicedo. Into Reece James. Reece James pulls it across. It's fantastic defending from Van de Ven though. The Giovanni Quenda trying to find Cucurella. And it will be a Chelsea corner. Giovanni Quenda to take the corner for Chelsea. It's a decent delivery. Looking for Schlotterbeck, and it's headed away by Van de Ven for a Chelsea throw. It's been a good opening 15 minutes here. As Schlotterbeck finding Marc Cucurella. Trying to run at Rodrigo. And goes into Fernandes instead, who finds Caicedo. Cucurella back into Caicedo, who then finds Cole Palmer. Out to Reece James, back to Cole Palmer. And it's good defending from Van Dijk. Reece James, dispossessed by Valverde though, and Real Madrid can now break with Endrick. Goes back to Bellingham. Into Carreras. Really good defending from Reece James though. And Garcia then clears, looking for Vinny. But Van de Ven does well. Cole Palmer now. Finding Reece James, who then finds Nico Paz. Nico Paz can cut in and hit this here. It goes to short to Quenda instead, but is intercepted. And Endrick now breaking away with the ball for Real Madrid. Arda Güler, and it's good defending there by Schlotterbeck, but unfortunately does concede a corner. Trent Alexander-Arnold to take. Schlotterbeck heads away, but only as far as a Real Madrid throw. Carreras. Caicedo intercepts, but Tchouaméni keeps the ball alive for Real Madrid, and it's wayward from Valverde. Things seem to have just settled down a little bit after that really hectic start. As Bellingham goes back to Tchouaméni, who then finds Van de Ven. Van Dijk now can find Rodrigo, who goes back to Trent, then finds Valverde. Into Rodrigo, who goes for goal, and it's just wide from the Brazilian. Garcia going long, but Van Dijk is ever present in the air. Nico Paz now finding Cole Palmer. Goes back to Reece James. Into Fernandes, who then finds Caicedo. Palmer back to Caicedo. Back to Fernandes. Back to Caicedo. Back to Fernandes. Then finding Reece James forward with the ball. Back to Nico Paz. Into Enzo Fernandez, and it's just wide from Fernandes. Good Chelsea move there though. As I am now going to turn dynamic mode off for the rest of this first half, and then we'll put it back on for the second half, as I don't want this game to be really long. Of course you want it to be more than just a 5-minute game. But you don't want it to be a 40-minute game. And my voice needs a little bit of a break as well. As it looks like the first half is going to come to an end here. And does. And it ends the first half as we come into the break. Real Madrid 1. Chelsea 1. A fantastic first half display. And we are level still with Real Madrid, who are, of course, a fantastic team. As Vinicius Jr. then gets us underway for the second half. As dynamic mode goes back on. Caicedo then goes back to Reece James. Dispossessed by Jude Bellingham. Carreras finding Bellingham, who finds Arda Güler. Not sure who Marcos Antonio is. We'll have to have a proper look at that in a sec. Bellingham cutting in for Real Madrid and goes for goal. But it's a simple save for Garcia in the end. Of course, the ex-Barcelona man. Who's Marcos Antonio? Is it the guy who used to play for Shakhtar? Yeah, interesting that they brought him on. Reece James goes back to Fernandes. Nico Paz just keeping the ball moving here. Cucurella running at Trent. Trying to find Palmer at the back post. And it falls to Reece James. And it's just over from Reece James. Courtois then getting us underway again from the goal kick. Goes short to Van Dijk, who finds Rodrigo. Endrick then finding Jude Bellingham out on this left-hand side. Good defending from Fofana then. And can Chelsea now counter-attack? As Cole Palmer trying to go past Carreras. Goes into Fernandes instead, who gives it straight back to Carreras. Bellingham into Arda Güler. Carreras finding Bellingham again, who finds Arda Güler. Them two playing a 1-2 with each other. Bellingham now goes back to Antonio. As the flag does go up, and it will be a Chelsea free kick following that offside. Fofana goes long, looking for Reece James. Interesting decision there. As Caicedo does really well. And Palmer now cutting in and finding the ball through to Vinicius Jr. Does he have the composure? It's really good defending from Real Madrid. Quenda. Oh, that's really good defending from Van der Ven there, I believe it was. Caicedo finding Vinicius Jr., who looks for the ball through to Reece James. Caicedo now switching over to Cucurella. Back into Caicedo, who then finds Reece James out on this right-hand side. Reece James cutting in, finding Nico Paz. And it forces a good save from Courtois to concede a Chelsea corner. Reece James to take. Over everyone, but Fofana can keep this in. And then find Moises Caicedo. Back to Fofana. To Schlotterbeck. Into Caicedo, who switches to Reece James. Caicedo. Chelsea just keeping hold of the ball here. Looking to patiently wait for an opening. As it is rushed. And Real Madrid regain possession. Bellingham looking for the run through to Endrick. Does then eventually find Endrick. Switch out to Rodrigo. Into Trent. Van Dijk. I feel like Vinny could have put more pressure on him there. Maybe forced him to make a mistake or lose the ball. Courtois then finding Van Dijk. Rodrigo. into Trent Alexander-Arnold, who goes into Arda Güler, who is dispossessed, but it falls back to Güler. Not sure how he's weaseled his way in there. Bellingham then, back out on his left-hand side. Antonio, back to Jude Bellingham. And it's fantastic defending from Moises Caicedo there, who is having a fantastic game in this opening hour. Trent to take the corner for Real Madrid. Headed away. And Trent now with another bite of the cherry to redeliver. But he is thankfully offside. See, I feel like this is the problem with dynamic mode. I feel like you do just end up watching the game, which I'm not complaining, but I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a bit more, maybe. Difference. As Nico Paz finding Reece James. Can we find Cole Palmer down this right-hand side? We can. Can Palmer pull it across? He goes to the edge of the box to Fernandes. Fernandes hits it, and he got to fucking hit the target. Should be hitting the target there. Should Enzo Fernandez. Courtois finding Trent Alexander-Arnold, who finds Rodrigo. Back to Trent. And then into Rodrigo once again. Rodrigo looking for the run of Trent. And Schlotterbeck heads back brilliantly. Fofana finding Reece James. Caicedo then finding Nico Paz. Into Palmer. Paz trying to get himself on the ball and make something happen here. As Reece James dispossessed by Bellingham. Enzo Fernandez then intercepts him. Quenda finding Nico Paz, who finds Vinicius Jr. This looks like a promising move from Real Madrid. It's a good tackle from Van der Ven. Fantastic defending from the nerd Dutchman. And now Real Madrid can break. I am going to turn dynamic mode off. It's good defending from Reece James. Enzo Fernandez then with the free kick for Chelsea. Goes short to Palmer. Reece James finding Enzo Fernandez. Goes for goal and forces a decent stop from Courtois there, who turns it round the post for a Chelsea corner. As we're into the final 20 minutes now of normal time for this Champions League final. We're going to bring Ferran Torres on. Not played too much for us this year, but hopefully can do something against his arch nemesis. I don't really have anyone that can come on for Palmer. We'll leave it at just Torres and Gusto for now, as we're into the final 15 minutes of normal time here. Van der Ven finding Bellingham, who then goes back to Van der Ven. Van Dijk finding Quinte. And Pino out on this right hand side now for Real Madrid, finding Arda Güler, who goes back to Yeremy Pino. Into Bruno Fernandes, who finds Bellingham. And that is an absolutely outstanding save from Garcia to turn it round the post for a Real Madrid corner. Carreras finding Bellingham. Van der Ven goes back to Van Dijk. Into Quinte. Valverde now finding Yeremy Pino. It's a lovely switch out to Bellingham, who cuts inside, and it's a fantastic Jude Bellingham goal. Oh no! It's a lovely switch by Quinte. And it's a fantastic first touch from Bellingham. And it's a really nice finish into the bottom corner from the Englishman. As we are now going to have to go for this. We're going to demand more. don't really know what we can even do. Who do we even have on the bench? João Pedro can come on for Nico Paz and play up top. Like so. And then Gittins can come on for Palmer, I guess. It's not really what we want though, is it? As we're into the final 5 or so minutes now. We need a goal to try and take this to extra time. We have a highlight and a chance here. Courtois with the free kick for Real Madrid. Andre Santos looking for Gittins. Kinte heads away, but it's only as far as Ferran Torres. As it falls to Andre Santos. It's just wide from Andre Santos. That could have been it. Courtois then. With the goal kick for Real Madrid. Goes short to Van Dijk. Into Kinte, who switches. But Gusto does well to intercept. Ferran Torres finds Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. has done it. In the 91st minute, he equalises for Chelsea. He gets his second of the game. Fantastic. Vinicius Jr. working like a dog. He doesn't give the ball up at all. And it's an interesting finish past Courtois. But Vinicius Jr. against his former side equalises at the death to send this game to extra time. Unless, just get it in the box. Just get it in the box. Just get it. Oh my God, Ferran Torres in the 95th minute. I thought that was going to be it. Come on, let's do this in extra time. As Bruno Fernandes gets us underway. We're going to bring Lavia on for Moises Caicedo. We're going to give a shout of encouragement as we could be going to penalties here in the Champions League final. Or will we? As Cucurella finding Santos. Lavia now goes back to Fofana, who switches out to Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto driving. Can he pull it across? He can, but it's blocked, but falls to Lavia. Andre Santos now finding Cucurella. And it's a good save from Courtois to deny Cucurella there. A fantastic Champions League final this has been. João Pedro gets us underway then for the restart. João Pedro finding Gittins, who finds Malo Gusto. Headed away, and Yeremy Pino picks it up, and then Kinte gets rid. Marc Cucurella. Dispossessed, but does really well to keep going with the ball. And pulls it to João Pedro! And João Pedro makes it 3-2. A fantastic header from the Brazilian. Cucurella with an outstanding delivery. That is an inch perfect cross and a fantastic header from João Pedro. As we're going to go cautious. We're going to bring João Pedro back into the 10 and move him back into midfield. Just as a normal central midfielder. We're going to move him back there. He can stay like that. We're going to bring him back. And we're going cautious as we're into the final. Oh, fucking hell. Don't tell me I've done that for no reason. Oh, no. No. Huijsen finding Yeremy Pino out on this right-hand side. You're joking. No, you're joking. No. I thought he'd done it. Shit, I thought he'd fucking done it. Oh no. Oh, I thought he'd done it at the death. But Real Madrid equalise immediately. Brahim Diaz equalising immediately. Gittins. Ferran Torres goes back to Cucurella. And it's just over from Cucurella. Into the final couple of minutes now. What a Champions League final this has been. Courtois finding Huijsen. Kinte going long. Need you to win that Fofana and does. But João Pedro is dispossessed. Yeremy Pino now. Wins the ball back from Cucurella. Driving forward for Real Madrid now. Oh no, I've got a bad feeling. Good save from Garcia. Carreras finding Jude Bellingham. So I believe this is going to be going to penalties then. Yeremy Pino. Headed away by Fofana. Jude Bellingham keeps it in. But that is it. We are going to penalties. João Pedro steps up to take the first for Chelsea. And it's a fantastic penalty. We're just going to speed this up a little bit because the bit in between is quite slow. I mean, even on 1.75 it's slow. Bruno Fernandes steps up for Real Madrid. And it's a fantastic penalty from Bruno Fernandes. Vinicius Junior against his former side. Lovely penalty from Vinny. Come on. Jude Bellingham, the other man who scored 2, steps up for Real Madrid. And it's saved! Oh, he hit the post. Jude Bellingham on his knees in tears for Real Madrid. Advantage Chelsea. Come on. Come on, Ferran. Ferran Torres steps up. And it's saved by Courtois. And that advantage could be gone instantly. Oh no. Yeremy Pino steps up and pulls Real Madrid back level. Schlotterbeck steps up and scores for Chelsea. Huijsen against Garcia. And he's hit the bar. Score, we win. Score, we win. Come on. We've just got to score to win. Jamie Bino Gittins to take the penalty for Chelsea. And he scores! Come on! Chelsea have done it. We have won the UEFA Champions League. Come on! And there it is. The Champions League trophy. Absolutely outstanding. We have done it on penalties. What a Champions League final that is. What an episode. As Reece James lifts the Champions League up high for Chelsea. We have done it. You absolutely love to see it. And I'm worried about time. So the next episode will start with us crowning ourselves champions of the Glory Hunter Challenge. Where what we will do, we will start the episode on the Glory Hunter screen. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Glory Hunter action, and peace.